about the symbolism of the eagle for a minute. So most of us know that scripture that say, they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not grow weary. They shall walk and not faint. And we even know the song, most of us or many of us, teach me, Lord, to wait. So let's talk about the symbolism of an eagle. The eagle, first and foremost, normally represents your spiritual self based on that scripture right there that I just shared with you that is found in the book of Isaiah. It also can represent and be the symbol for the prophet or the seer, part of the fivefold ministry, the ministry callings, part of the ascension gifts, the prophet, the seer, okay? It can also represent God. There are scriptures that talk about God being like an eagle or like a mother hen who wraps his wings around us. It can also just be a symbol for strength or a symbol even for Israel, the nation of Israel. It is also a symbol for representing being swift, being a heavenly resting place or like a nest. You know, when a group of eagles come together, it's called a holy convocation. Okay. And so like there's some really interesting stuff. I could teach for probably hours on the eagle, and I have in the past. I'm not going to do that today. I just want to just do a brief symbolism thing. If you was to see an eagle, if you have an eagle show up in your dreams or whatever, or you have repeated dreams or visions concerning an eagle, or even start seeing pictures everywhere of an eagle where like it's really grabbing your attention and you really strongly feel like that it's the Lord that is causing your attention to be drawn to that, then there is probably a message that God is trying to get to you in one of these areas. An eagle can represent being lifted up by the Spirit, because the eagle literally soars. It rises above the storms and it soars. It doesn't have to keep pumping its wings and flying and putting in all this effort. It literally soars up to a certain height, goes above a storm, and then like it literally almost like catches a gale, catches a wind, and literally soars. So it represents being lifted by the Spirit. It also can represent it's a time to move on. Or it can represent a warring angel or just an angel in general. But the eagle can also represent a time of judgment or an instrument of judgment. Okay, so we know that there's even nations that use the eagle on their flags and their symbolism and different things like that. There's an eagle that is on many types of currency, have an eagle on it. So I want you to think about this when you're learning symbolism, the basics of symbolism. It's really where that's at, what messages that portraying in different areas. And then you have to discern and pray. Discern through praying. You go to the Lord and you ask the Lord for interpretation, for understanding. And as you're praying, like usually your gut is just going to know that, is it judgment or is it my spiritual self? Is it strength? Is it swiftness? Those types of different things. And that's where symbolism, a lot of symbolism has like a good side and a bad side, so to speak. There's the heavenly kingdom side of the meaning of stuff, and then there's the worldly or the enemy's kingdom meaning of different things. But I always start first by looking the word up in the Bible. What's Bible scripture on it? That is like the place to start, whether it's numbers, colors, a different symbol like an animal, an eagle, something like that. I try to start with Bible scripture. So let me give you some scriptures. If you want to jot them down super quick so that you can go and look, you'll have them. Isaiah 40 verse 31, they that wait upon the Lord, is that scripture. Matthew 24 and 28, Exodus 19:4, and 1 Samuel 9:9. Exodus 19:4. Deuteronomy 32:11 and 12. The book of John actually depicts Jesus as the divine eagle. Remember that part of the four faces of the living creature literally was, the eagle, the man, the ox, the lion. Okay. And so like there's a whole splendor, strength, swiftness displayed there. Okay. And then Psalm 103 and verse 5, Jeremiah 4:13, Revelation 12:14, Habakkuk 1:8, Proverbs 23:5, Jeremiah 49:16, Proverbs 30:19, Proverbs 30:17, Luke 17:37, John 20:12, Daniel 10:6, and chapter 13. Now that's not exhaustive, but that's a list to kind of start going and looking, especially if you're one who's really drawn to the symbol of an eagle. Now, why I say that is because oftentimes if you are discovering your purpose, if you're discovering your prophetic DNA, so to speak, you're trying to understand who you are, you may latch on from season to season, off and on, to certain symbolism. Some people take on a love for eagles. Some people really have a love for lions. Some people really have a love for lambs. Some people really have a love for mountains. Some people for water. So part of that is because of the message that it's speaking to you. And so you end up literally creating like this, you end up with this passion that's been created in your heart toward the symbolism because of the message, what it symbolizes, the message behind it. So if you're one that is drawn to the eagle, you are very intrigued with the eagle. Like I went through years where, oh my goodness, like I absolutely loved everything about the eagle. And I studied the eagle so much, even in nature and stuff. Like I did some deep studies on the eagle, probably as much, if not as more of any other symbol that I ever studied. And it was kind of for a season in my life. And, like a lot of it kind of dissipated and lifted over, a few year period. And then my symbol literally changed and went into something we'll share next. But, and those kind of things can literally mark God transitioning you as he's building and developing you, your calling, your purpose, your spiritual gifts, what your prophetic DNA is. Literally the very core of who God has designed you to be you can find that being drawn to certain symbols. There's a few of them that are pretty powerful. If you look up there, right there behind me, you might not be able to see it real well, but I just happened to see it out of my view there for a second. And remembered there's actually eagles all over our home. Like we have a ton of eagles, and we actually have gotten rid of some, but we still have a lot because my husband and I both went through this period of time where we just absolutely was so drawn to the symbol of the eagle, and it represented strength and peace and tranquility and the prophetic gifting and just all of those beautiful different things to us. And we found such solace and such peace in the symbol of the eagle, as far as like it being a reminder to us of pushing through, of riding out the storms, of learning to soar above the storm, so to speak, different things like that we literally started to collect eagles and stuff through the years. And we don't collect them now, but we did for a while. And, like I said, our symbol kind of changed over the last several years in some really awesome ways, but we still have a love for the eagles. And so, I just want you guys to kind of just understand that some Bible symbolism that you're drawn to can really have a much deeper meaning, especially if there's a pattern and a rhythm of you constantly just really becoming more and more passionate about the specific symbol. It's because of the message that is being spoken to your heart. And sometimes it's a silent message that God speaks from his spirit to your spirit. And it's like there's not really words, you just know. And, you just know that there's things that God's drawing you to. Okay. So I hope that this makes sense. And I hope that if you're one that's drawn to the eagle, that you can just kind of make this a little bit of a study and just add it into your journaling notes and stuff so that you have it, so that when that eagle shows up in your dream, you're going to know exactly why. I've had multiple dreams with eagles in them through the years, and they're pretty awesome. As a matter of fact, I had one dream with 2 eagles that were getting ready to take flight. And boy, did I know it was a message from God immediately. And I waited and waited and waited. And about 1.5 years, boom, all of a sudden there was some certain breakthroughs in our home and in our lives where I knew when it began. And when I remembered that dream, the eagles have taken flight in some areas. So it's just a beautiful way that God communicates to us. I think it's gentle, it's gracious, it's a beautiful form of communication when we learn to speak the Lord's symbolism in ways like that. And it's almost like a heart dance. Because like I said, some of it's done almost in silence, but there's just these little messages, and it's almost like your heart begins to dance, and it can stir a beautiful love and deep worship within you, where you can literally sit and communicate with God, and neither one of you really have to say anything, and you understand what it is that he is saying to you. So I pray this blesses you. I will be back with you soon. God bless.